Hey, Vortex. So I wanted to address something because one of my fans got onto me last night because of a video that I put up that was extremely self-righteous. Now, I used to be very self-conscious about how I come across in regards to stand-up comedy. But then I'd have other comedians tell me that I should be mean up there and I should be narcissistic because, you know, that is a huge part of the art form. But, you know, as a Christian, I'm really mindful of how what I'm saying and doing might misrepresent the faith. And, you know, we already have enough of a problem with that. We already have enough of a problem with people, like, misquoting the scripture or misinterpreting the scripture and driving people away, whether we're too conservative or we're too liberal about it, you know. That's why I hate politics so much. Because all their politics tends to do is, like, turn everything to shit. But I know that I can come across as, like, really just arrogant, you know? Like, I know everything. I don't know everything. But yeah, I make pretty bold statements sometimes, I know I do. But, you know, it's part comedic, though. I mean, anytime that I'm narcissistic on stage, it always works. Because, you know, people find that shit funny. I don't think that self-deprecation is anywhere near as funny as people having an overzealous amount of confidence in themselves. You know? I mean, you kind of have to in order to do stand-up. Especially considering the fact that, like, most people will never, ever, ever do stand-up. And not because they're not funny, but because they don't really have anything to say. Well, I don't think that many people have anything to say, honestly, but it's like there's obviously, like, a need there. You know, like, a lot of people need to do it because of the attention that they get, or it's therapeutic for them, you know? I just have social anxiety, you know, so it doesn't really help with that. So I'm really up there because there are things that I think are really important that need to be addressed. And nobody's gonna say them because everybody has a smartphone. So they're all, like, they're all retarded now. So, like, that statement sounds really arrogant. You know, like, oh, I think I'm just so amazing because I don't have a smartphone. No, it's really not that. But I am very committed to my lifestyle. And not many people can say that. So if I am self-righteous about it, that's why. Because I have a level of dedication as well as resilience that most people in this country don't have at all. So, and, you know, I was thinking about it, like, not just with technology, but with, like, medications and stuff. Like, every time that I've been on any kind of pill, I've been so quick to get off that shit. Because I have this protective shield against psychosis. So it's like, it doesn't matter like how many people think I'm delusional in my thought process. I'm not going out and doing crazy shit. I might be talking crazy, but I'm not acting crazy. I'm not, well, aside from, you know, taking a piss outside, which people don't understand, but it's like, so what? Taking a piss out in the woods, like, why is this a problem? Like, that's what they used to do. I swear, I'm way closer to our ancestors than anybody else in this country, aside from the Amish. But yeah, people are so accustomed to like doing things that the system tells them to do, that anytime that somebody just questions that and goes, are you sure we need to do this? Is this really necessary? Then people will bite that person's head off because they challenge that person to think and to question their surroundings and to question the society that they live in and how stupid it is. And basically I'm saying that people are stupid, so I understand how that comes across, but I think that is a comedian's responsibility. And it used to be a responsibility that was taken way more seriously, but because comedy is so liberal now, it's not just mentally ill people doing it. It's just degenerates doing it. So mentally ill didn't used to mean degenerate, but now it does because of all this trans crap. It really is because of the sexual stuff. So that's why I've been talking so much about not having to give in to sexual degeneracy, all because you don't fit in. Like, you can be gay without having to engage in homosexual behavior. It's very possible. I promise. Like, there's this chick I go to church with. She's in the choir with me, and she's very, very beautiful, and I told her that. And, I mean, I'm attracted to her, you know? But, like, that doesn't mean anything unless I give into that. Like, you're allowed to think thoughts. You're allowed to feel feelings. You don't have to act on any of that stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so heavily opposed to psychiatric medication, because it doesn't allow people to actually understand any of their emotions. Marijuana actually does that. Psychedelics actually do that. It's just when people abuse those things, they screw themselves up. And I wish that wasn't the case. I wish I was the type of person that didn't have an addictive personality and obsessively do stuff. Because I feel like most of the things that I've done that were bad for me wouldn't have been bad if I hadn't done them in an obsessive compulsive way. You know? And I wish I wasn't like that, but I am. And I'm not going to stop being like that all because I drink a different thing or I repeat a slogan over and over and over again. It's like, the way that my brain is, it's probably not gonna change. If there are things that I've done to try to curb the way that I operate when I drink, then it's like, okay, how many failed experiments does it take for me to give this up? How many failed experiments does it take for me to acknowledge the fact that this isn't going well? You know? But I do find it absolutely hilarious how many potheads are so overly sensitive that they can't handle somebody taking a break from that. I'm not even suggesting that anybody else do that. But, you know, somebody on Rumble actually tried to get on to me about this and accuse me of bad-mouthing God's miraculous plan, which I never did. I would never badmouth the cannabis plant because the cannabis plant saved my life. But if you think that this plant is the same plant that God made, you are sorely mistaken, because there's a reason why they are industrializing it, okay? And once they do that, there's no telling what's in that plant, okay? Once it becomes commercial, They're going to do the same thing in the marijuana plant that they've done in food. They're going to do the same thing in the marijuana plant that they've done in cigarettes. But you can't tell that to a pothead because, you know, Lord knows they love to get high. I mean, I'm telling you, they don't actually appreciate the plant itself. They just want to get fucked up. So, if you actually appreciated that shit, you would notice that it's not the same fucking plant. And you would also notice all these people going to psych wards because they go into a state of psychosis, and they're forced to do that by people that work at the fucking hospitals that are run by the government. And then they have to take all that medication that I just bitched about, okay? So, yeah, it's just so annoying that, like, people, they're not the slightest bit concerned that they're being poisoned all the time. So that's not a respectable society, you know, and I really don't like engaging with any of these people. Occasionally I will, but, you know, there's really no point in arguing with a corpse.